All right. How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We did trade yesterday. We traded yesterday. We got about 200 profit yesterday. We had 300, took one trade towards the end of the day, incurred a drawdown, back down to 200, around 250. And yeah, something weird happened with this account that I had already passed. My trade copier had an update. Um, I installed the update, but I didn't restart the program because I was not going to use the trade copier. I didn't think it was going to be a problem because I was only going to trade one account. Anyways, the trade copier fucked up, traded both accounts, incurred a drawdown on the one I had already passed, and I don't know. I already signed the PA agreement on that account, so let's see if Apex will just give it to me, or if I have to fucking pass it again, which if I do, it'll be bullshit. It's only $200, but still, it's fucking bullshit. If I already signed the PA agreement, and I have the fucking certificate, I should pass. I should be able to pay it off, but, you know, let's see. I hope this doesn't come back to bite me in the ass. But yeah, so if take a look here. Dude, I even got the fucking like certificate for passing the account. I signed the PA agreement, but then my fucking trade copier fucks up and trades the account that has already passed, got a drawdown, and yeah, when I went to go pay the activation fee yesterday, it said that I still needed the pass. Which I was like, what? But I signed the PA agreement. I literally signed the fucking agreement. You should just give it to me. You know, like, I passed it, I signed it, and I was going to pay the activation fee at night when I got paid by my boss. But, you know, I got back at night and I was like, oh, you need a pass. What the fuck? Okay, so let's take a look. We had a large overnight move. We have news at 10. We have well, okay. First of all, 8:30 this morning we had GDP and we had jobless claims. Okay, and then we have Chicago PMI at what 9:45. Yeah, 9:45 we got Chicago PMI, and yeah. So this is the thing that I don't like it when there's news at 5:40 9:45 because that's a little too close to the open. And ideally, I would like to have my trade. I'd like to be in and out before any news comes in, and I don't think 9:45 is enough time, especially on ES, for me to develop a good trade. Especially because most of the times I don't like to trade the opening candle. So we have news at 9:45, and then we have some less volatile news at 10. But they're back to back, and so my fear is that the market will just chop and range until then, not really giving me any opportunity. It'll just chop and range until news, and then news comes in, and then like it's. I prefer not to trade news. I like days where there's no news, to be honest. So we got our zones on NQ and ES. NQ looks like okay, 77 to 53. I mean, NQ looks. I don't know. I'm not trusting NQ. I've been trading only the ES lately, like the past week or so, and I've been doing pretty good with it. Um, not to jinx myself, but I've been doing pretty good with the ES. So I'm gonna, continue with the ES, even though the thing is that ES is very slow. It's very boring. obviously with the NQ, you'll make your, you can get your profit target in like a couple of minutes, or you can hit your maximum loss in a couple of minutes. So it works both ways. My problem is that the NQ doesn't always give you enough time for confirmation. Like if you reach a zone, a lot of times, like let's say this was NQ for example, it'll tick your zone for like a couple seconds and then come straight back down. ES, at least, it'll come into your zone. It'll give you like a little bit of confirmation. You can see the footprint play out a little bit more. You can see delta get absorbed, and then you can take a trade based off of that. NQ, you really can't do that. Sometimes you just have to be preemptive, and if you're preemptive, sometimes NQ will come up, take your stop, come back down, overrun your level a bit, and it's a mess. It's a mess. But yeah, we're gonna get, today we're expecting some huge moves. So 46 expected range on the ES, and we've only moved about 2 points. So take a look here. Get anything on the open? No. So it's MNQ, right? It's the ES, yep. All right. Gonna open like 40 sat. I gotta take a shit, but we're gonna open right now. So it's at 10, and then okay, so we're about 3 points away from hitting from going outside of our zone. Just take a look at this delta right here. Straight off the bat, it doesn't look good for buyers here. They keep on getting taken out of this zone. Zone that we marked out here. It's a pretty good zone. But I want to get a better entry, and I want to wait for confirmation. Specifically, I want to wait for the opening candle so I can get some confirmation on the opening candle, because, the opening candle is always messy. Especially on... Oh, this show is fucking loud as fuck. Especially on NQ. NQ is always a little messy on the open. Yeah, see? It's messy. But yeah, let's wait. There is a trend that I've been noticing. So I don't have any zones near all-time highs, because whenever we get close to all-time highs, we just push. We push all-time highs and we run it. So I don't want to fade all-time highs. I have my zones here. These are zones that I fade because I trade counter trends. I'm not going to counter trend right near all-time high. That's not gonna, the trend is that we get close to all-time high, we push. So I'm not gonna counter that. I will, however, hold on. Like, okay, like for example, fuck, what was I gonna say? Shit, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, that's right. Another trend that I have been noticing, however, is I will have my zones marked out from the night before, the day before, or even just pre-market. And before we open, like for example here at 8:35, we'll tap into that zone. This is this is the first retest of this newly created zone. But this all happens before the market opens. And typically when the market opens, we're already well out of that zone. And so my thinking is, at least on the ES, because this never worked for me on the NQ. Like if I go to NQ right now, it's being a little weird. I don't think that looks heavy. Looks very heavy, and it looks like it wants to break the red zone. But anyways, I mean, take a look here.
Order filled.
I'm gonna take this just so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. Show you guys. Well, that's 46. Yeah, 15-point stop. Yeah. Let me make sure this is the right account too, bro, because, like, fuck, man. Alright, there you go. I'm gonna take this so I can show you guys what I'm talking about on the NQ. Take an experimental trade just for you guys. This is also, 200 moving average on the hourly. Seems to be respecting that, but although you have all these confluences, like it's been respecting the 200 moving average on the hourly, we're there right now, we have our zone, it's still going to run my stop. Which is why I do not like the NQ. And I'm going to showcase to you guys this right now. I'm literally taking a risk just to show you why I do not trade the NQ. Also so I can remind myself why I left this dumb bitch. Fucking NQ, bro. It's just not that reliable. Anyways, like I was saying, A very reliable, a tactic that I would be willing to try in the future is, coming into the open. Let me see. Oh shit. Coming into the open on the ES, if we have already tapped into my zone on the ES before pre-market, I will just take that trade to pre-market. So I will take that trade into pre-market, and I'll see how it runs. I'll see how it plays out on the market open. Because if you take a look at the ES here, the first retest of that zone, we are already rejecting it, So it's a good zone to play out. And that's here on the ES. That would be a good zone to play out. The NQ, however, is not like that, because as you're going to see right now, it's going to take my stop, which is a couple points outside of the zone, and then it's going to run back up. That's typically what happens with the NQ. That happens a lot when there's a lot of volatility. Today, granted, we don't have too much volatility. The VIX is pretty low. It's a 14.15. Below the 200 moving average is at 14.3. But the ATR is showing us that we're going to get a lot of movement. I mean, 237 expected range, and we've only moved about 34 points, right? So I am expecting a little bit of movement, a moderate amount of movement on the NQ, especially the NQ. But, okay, look, we got an imbalance down there. But, the NQ is just volatile. By nature, it's volatile. It doesn't respect a whole lot of the rules. At least in my trading plan, it doesn't respect a whole lot of rules. Like, for example, even if it's not a volatile market, the NQ will still overrun some levels sometimes. Even if, for example, I'm about to take this off pretty soon here. I need to see what Delta's doing. I'm rambling on right now, and I need to take a look at my trade, know when to take this off. I will probably take this off here at 10 points because I'm not trusting this move. See here. Oh, sellers are getting absorbed a little bit. Negative 350 down there. Got absorbed. Just waiting for volume to kick in. So, okay, yeah, we missed our opportunity. We're rampant. But anyways, even if volatility is low, NQ will still come and overrun levels sometimes, It's just that's just the nature of NQ. Sometimes, for example, I'll have a static 15-point stop on NQ because I know I need to, account for some room in my levels to be overrun. I can expect my levels to be overrun, therefore I need to account for that. The ES, however, I can be a little bit more safe. I'm going to take that off. The ES, however, I know that I can be a little bit more safe with the ES because I know that the ES respects my rules and my levels a lot more than NQ. So with the ES, I'm not going to have a static point, like a static 3 or 4 point stop. I'll set my stop accordingly to, a zone, to an imbalance. For example, for on the hourly, I'll set it above this candle right here because, if they push this imbalance, then we're going to break the candle, I'll set it accordingly because I can trust the ES a lot more. It has more volume. At least the MNQ has more volume than the MES, but the ES has more volume than the NQ overall. That's why it moves so slow, because you have so many orders to get through. Like if you, for example, open up the DOM. Here, I'll open this up right now. You go here. And I'll open up the DOM. This is the ES. You see there's like 100 contracts at each level, and then you go to the NQ, it's like 5, 6, 14, like not even going to the 20s. You got 56 there. But you get what I'm saying, right? The ES has so much more volume traded that the moves on the ES have a lot more confirmation behind them. Precisely because you have so much volume, right? You have much more, and volume pretty much means you have more people agreeing on the movement of an asset. NQ it doesn't have a lot of volume. It does not have too much volume. MNQ has more volume than MES, but ES, the actual full ES, more volume than the MNQ and the NQ combined, right? So That's also why the yen-Q is so volatile. Well, not volatile, but it has wild movements. Realistically, I could just be done right now. I could stop. 284 on the day is not that bad. It's pretty good. I could just stop and maintain my winning streak. Could have gotten a little bit more. Could have gotten way more out of that move. But, sometimes playing things safe, for example, I could have gotten more out of that move, but what would happen? If I go for larger swings and larger point moves, I run the risk of my position getting reversed and stopped out. So my win percentage will be a lot lower. What I found is that I prefer having a lower RR, so just lower profit, like a smaller profit, and a higher percent, like a higher win rate. So like if I take a look here, my entry was at 40, like 67, I got out at 80. That's close to a 1-1 R. It's more like 1 to 1.5 because my stop is at 15 points. That's about 150, and we made about like 300 on the trade, 300 more or less. So that's about, yeah, like a 1 to 2 RR. I'd much rather take a 1 to 2 RR and like a 80-70% win rate than a 20-30% win rate and like a 1 to 10 RR, because what happens is when you have so many losses, when you have so many losing days in a row and you're relying on getting those big wins, that messes up with your psychology a lot. You're relying on something that happens 20-30% of the time to make up your entire month, right? And especially if you have financial obligations that are fulfilled with trading, you're pretty much relying on 20-30% statistics for you to live, for you to complete your livelihood, which I think is absurd. Of course, there are successful people like Tom Hugert that have success with that. And I, for a time, also found success with having high RR, low percentage wins. However, that is not sustainable for your psychology. I think at one point or another, we all mature into realizing that a mix between scalping and short-term trading is the best. So having a higher percentage, having a higher win percentage, and having more modest profits and building that up over time. Take a look here. If we can replicate today, for example, we made about 280 times that 20 trading days of the month. That's about 5,600. Right? Let's say I risk 150 a day, 150, and I have 5 losing days. That's about 750. So 5,600 minus 750, I'll come out with 4,850. Let's just round that down to 4,500 just to be safe and moderate, right? So we're making 4,500 a month anyways, times, let's say you have 2 PA accounts, that's 9,000. If you take out a $2,000 payout, that's 4,000 a month. Okay, and you're still building up your other accounts, 2,000 a month. So on the flip side, let's say I make 750, or yeah, let's say I make 750 and I win 5 days of the month, but I'm losing 150 times 15 days of the month, right? So if I do 3,750 minus 2,250, 1,500. So you see, even though I'm going for like a 1 to 7 RR more or less, I'll be on the month with 1,500 profit, and that's a little bit more realistic. Let's even say I go for a 1 to 10 RR, 1,000 times 5, and then I got, say, round it up to 250 times 15, so 5,000 minus 3,750. And why do I still make it 1,250 on the month? So why did I round it up to 250 losing days? If you have 15 losing days, because let's say that you only win a certain percentage, you have 5 winning days, 15 losing days. Your losing days, you need to be risking 250, and that's very, very modest. Realistically, you need to be risking like 450, 350. You need to have 3 trades with a 15-point stop on the NQ for you to have good enough opportunity, so you can make that 1 to 10 RR trade that you're looking for, right? Because that opportunity does not come about very often. What happens is okay, so you're risking about 250, 300 a day to make 1,000. eventually those losses are going to build up over time. When you do make that $1,000 winning trade, that that $1,000 swing, you're going to just barely break even and make a little bit of profit. And not only is that not good for your portfolio, but it's not good for your psychology. So realistically, you need to go for a 1 to 20 point swing. If you have 5 winning days of the month, 15 losing days, your RR needs to be like 1 to 15 or 1 to 20 for you to make at least a good enough profit on the month for you to validate that strategy that you have. Okay. And that's very hard to do when you're trading an evaluation, because you need to keep in mind the trailing drawdown, right? You're left with a very limited size with the trailing drawdown. So it's just best to not go for a high risk, like a high risk to reward ratio, but a low win percentage. That's just not the best thing that you can do for yourself. It's not good for your psychology either. I feel much better having consistent winning days where I make a modest profit, like $200, $300, even $400 profit, rather than scoring 2 or 3 days of the week where I'm making $750, $850. You get what I'm saying? So I'd much rather be safe with $300 profit days. So so yeah, guys, I mean, that's pretty much the rambling that I have. I'm gonna be done for today, honestly. I don't want to I do not want to trade anymore. I've made my profit and I want to be consistent. Don't want to give it back. So yeah, I think I'm going to be done for the day. Yeah, I'm definitely done. All right, guys. So hopefully throughout the week, maybe I'll have time to make a video about all this stuff, and then you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about more in depth. I can have, I can structure this video out. I can, structure out how I'm going to explain things to you guys and educate you guys. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Very short stream today. Yeah, all right, I'll see you guys later.